It is April 30th, 2021, and it's time for another episode of AMA Air. Coming up today, we've got the guys from UASidekick here to tell us all about their app and how it can benefit you as an AMA member.
We're also going to talk about the Mars Ingenuity helicopter that was built by Matt Keenan, who's an AMA member.
And we've got the announcement for the May Club of the Month. All that and more coming up today on AMA Air. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of AMA Air. My name is Matt Ruddick, and hey, look over here to my right. It's Aaron Dobbs, everybody. Clap at Aaron Dobbs. Hey!
I'm back, but just for an episode. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you back on the show. I mean, you started this show pretty much, so it's always, you're welcome anytime. That's what I'm saying.
Well, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
Well, we've got a ton of stuff to get to today, and the first story that we're going to start with, I think, is super cool, super rad. It's one of the reasons why we insisted that you come on and co-host the show today with us, because we've got a brand new membership benefit for our members, and it's something that you kind of help spearhead a little bit, and we're excited to talk about it today.
Right. So we do. We have a new member benefit through a partnership with UASidekick. So starting Monday, May 3rd, you will be able to fly or file for Lance authorization for free if you are not flying on an AMA chartered club site. So we have the registration process to go through, lots to talk about, but it's so easy to go through. We've also got a couple special guests today on the show as well.
Absolutely. We've got Jason Kanzler and Nathan Ruff from UASidekick joining us in just a second. But first, we've got a video that we're going to show you that tells you a little bit about UASidekick. So let's roll that video right now. Well, joining us today, again, like I mentioned, Jason Kanzler. He's the COO and co-founder of UASidekick, as well as Nathan Ruff. He is the CEO and co-founder of UASidekick. They're both joining us here today on the show. Jason, Nathan, thank you so much for coming on today on the AMA Air.
Yeah, good to be here. Great to be with you guys.
Well,
thanks, Matt. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to start with, we just saw that video that kind of explained a little bit about what UASidekick is. I would love for you guys to kind of put it in your own words, what is UASidekick, and what is it that, if for folks maybe watching that may not be familiar, how can it help benefit them as a pilot?
That's a great question, Matt. So if I step back a little and just look at the big picture, Jason and I both come from a background in aviation. So modeling, flying manned aircraft. And, 4 or 5 years ago, we just realized there's a lot of red tape becoming more and more prevalent in the industry. And, most folks want to go out and fly. So how could we build a software solution that would just make it darn easy to be able to understand if it's a good place to fly, or if maybe, the president was flying into town and so not such a great time to go up and go buzzing around. How to file, Lance, and which a lot of jargon in the FAA world that we've learned to deal with, but effectively get airspace authorization so that you're being regulatorily compliant. But our whole goal was just to say, let's try to take the red tape out of it and let folks just be able to get out there and, enjoy the sport they love. And so that's what Sidekick really is. It's a tool that's mobile, it's fast, it shouldn't take more than 30 seconds to do anything on it. It's kind of our goal. And we just want to make it easy for folks to get out there and do what they love.
Yeah. Now, I'd love to hear a little bit about how this partnership with AMA came about, because I think, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys were probably primarily focusing on a lot of commercial pilots through the beginning of your inception. But how did this partnership with AMA happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot of folks out there do tend to gravitate more towards, the commercial paying audiences and segments of the markets, or the enterprise level segments. And unfortunately, what we've seen, and we've watched this over the last 6 to 12 months as regulations have rolled out, the hobbyists, the real foundational core of the entire industry is gotten a little bit, pushed to the side. And so we really feel like, these are the folks where, everything that's happening now, whether it's last mile package delivery or drone taxis coming down the way, I mean, you can trace the roots back to, hobbyists, modelers, the roots on the ground folks of the industry. And so we wanted to do something to help on that front. And it's just, being able to partner with the AMA. The Academy is the premier organization out there. It's got a century-old legacy. I travel a lot, so the number of times I've been sitting, in row, 9 or 10 of the plane, and wondering if the guy in the front seat up there flying my flight happened to get his start because he was an AM modeler, or the son of one, and started his aviation career when he was 6 or 7. The history and legacy is tremendous. So we're just delighted to be part of this process and part of this partnership.
We're delighted to have you as a part of it.
We really are everywhere, quite frankly, I think is what most people find out. But I'm super excited to hear. I'm super excited to hear more about this and what benefits that we as AMA members are going to see when using your software. Jason, I don't know if you could tell us a little bit about what I know this is going to be a super simple registration process for folks to start using your app. What can you tell us about that part of it?
Yeah, so the registration part is when we developed it we wanted to make sure that it was you could get to it easily. There are links that when you type it in, I think the link is there coming up. Once you type in the link, it'll take you to a registration page. It opens up the registration slider that's on the left. One thing to note here before you get into that is there's a little sign off there that tells you about our privacy agreement and your location. Read through that. We're big on privacy, so we wanted you to go through that and look at it, and we want to provide you enough information so that you know what we do with your data. We're big on privacy, and so there's a lot that we put in there so that to show you. But once you actually go through that process and sign off, really you just start with putting your AMA number in, right? We check for that to make sure that it's active, putting your first and last name in. One thing to note, make sure and put in a call sign. Reserve that early. They're unique, so once somebody has that call sign, it's gone. So make sure and get your call sign early. But then put on your email and your password. And once you have the password in and then your phone and zip, the reason we ask for this information is because this is what the FAA asked for. And so we only wanted to ask for the minimum amount of information from you. And so this is what the FAA gets whenever you file a Lance. And so that's what we asked for. So once you actually put this in and you put the zip code in, that's really for help and support so that we know where you're located geographically. And then you just read through, we tell you what we provide, what we share here, and then you hit register. So once you hit register, it's going to open up another window at the top. And I think it'll show you there. It says your success there at the top in the white box that popped up. Just put in your email and your password that you had put in before, and you should be able to sign right back in.
And it really is as simple as that. Yeah, it's such a simple, easy process to get registered. And one of the things you guys, if you're unsure if you're in the right place or not, you're going to see that AMA logo right at the top of the screen.
That's right.
Actually, just got covered up right there, but it's up at the top of that screen.
Well,
so people know that's you're in the right place.
Right. And one thing to note before it goes off is the notification screen. We allow notifications in here, and there's a little bell icon at the top. And so any important information that may come from AMA or may come from us, that pertains to flight in general, or to the app or the software, or to AMA, will come through this link up there, and it'll show us a little red dot with a number in it, whether it's 1 or 5 or 6 different notifications. You can hit archive or acknowledge that, and then it will pop up and show in your dashboard later. So it doesn't really ever go away. You can go back and get to it if you need to.
Very cool.
Jason,
Now,
if I could chime in real quick, I know that you maybe a tiny delay here, sorry. But I know you talked a little bit about the privacy, and privacy is really important to all of us these days. And so I just wanted to make it really transparent. That information's out there about what we need to show regulatorily to the FAA. We just asked for the absolute bare minimum. And I think, if I was on the other side of this, the broadcast today, I'd be saying, hey, I did get some information to the AMA. Has that gotten pushed out to these guys? What do they have access to? And I want to reassure everyone that, we have worked really hard, both on our side and the AMA side, to make sure that we are getting absolutely nothing but a blinded AMA number to cross-reference to make sure folks are, fully up to date on membership. And so we can offer the service to them for free. But that's it. And so I would want to hear that if I was listening today, just to know, none of that other information. A lot of AMA members are minors or a little bit younger. We don't see that. We don't deal in selling data. That's not UASidekick's business model at all in the greater scheme of things, but certainly not, and especially not with this relationship.
Right. And so we make sure if the only time we ever share anything is if you ask us to. And so that's important to us. I mean, that's Nathan and I both fly. We're both pilots. So we come from the same side, saying, I really don't want to share information if I think it's going to be going somewhere that I don't authorize. So, just to reiterate that, one thing that's showing up here on the screen, I'd like to follow through if I could. When you first log in, you have the ability to turn on layers. And so what I'll show here as it plays is that you can zoom in and out and play with the map to kind of orient yourself in the US or outside the US. But then you can turn off the layers that you don't want to see, and then you can hit the AMA layer. That turns on both. If you hit the little down arrow, it actually shows you all the layers. Eventually, we're going to have more layers in there. Right now, we have 2. You're looking at the events layer. So any icon here with the white that has the AMA wings on there with the circle underneath it is an event. And so we're really excited because the day that you look at it, we're going to show you the next 2 weeks of events. And so if you're wanting to show that to others around you, or you kind of learn what's happening, maybe that's close by, maybe event icon will pop up when you open our app.
Hey, not even close by, Jason. We're all been a little bit cooped up with COVID, so maybe it's a great way to be a vacation planning tool.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe plan a little road trip, hit the events.
Yeah, that's it. And it's great for new members wanting to get involved. It's a great place to look at the AMA site, but what we want to do is support that with our web portal here and with our apps, just kind of provide another way to access that information.
So AMA has the National Fun Fly coming up, and we have NATS registration and those competitions coming up. So any pilots that are making their way to the IAC can use this platform to visit any site and event along the way.
That's right.
And it's right there indicated with the AMA logo.
That's right. Yeah, well, it's one of the things that also the back layers allow you to see some of the satellite imagery. So if you're wanting to know what's around you when you're in an event as well, that would be a good way to do that. And it's shown here in this video that you can scroll in, look at it, and just determine what's around based on that. But I wanted to show you, didn't know if you had
find the closest hotel, right?
Yeah,
no doubt.
Go ahead, Jason. I think you're going
to dive into this, and while you're pulling it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
While you were pulling it up, I was just going to say that, I don't want to preview or, kind of divulge any of the other cool bells and whistles and features that we're looking to add here, but we really want this tool to be useful and fun and, just what helps enhance the flying experience for all the AMA members. And so, some of the things we're talking about, Aaron mentioned, the competitions, the fly-ins, we're thinking about putting in some ideas about, maybe there's a local leaderboard, or maybe you just want to go out on a Friday afternoon and call up your buddies and say, hey, let's message, the 4 or 5 guys and gals in my group that want to go out and buzz around and do a little trash talking, and then all of a sudden you've got who's ahead, almost kind of like an NCAA tournament sort of thing. Joe won the last couple of weeks, but Jimmy's really coming in strong now. So I guess that's a simple way of saying any ideas that folks have out there, ways to use this tool. And I think the more people play with it, the more they'll see the capabilities and the possibilities. But we are open. We want to hear it. We want to build it into the development cycles. Ultimately, have this be something that it is just a heck of a lot of fun.
Well, to have bragging rights is, that's all a part of it. So
that's it. I like bragging. Yeah. Well, some of the cool features, right? Some of the cool features that we actually have right now, and we mentioned one before, is we actually show all the events. So on the site, you'll see the white logos that pop up. Those are events there. If the events are close together, they combine. So just scroll in. If it looks like there may be only one, just keep scrolling in and you'll see them. One thing to note about how we develop the app and how best to navigate our software is that it's really graphic based. It's based on looking at the map, determining where you're at or where you want to go. And if you see something, click on it, right? So I click on the event icon that shows up. It gives you the information about the event, the name of the event, the number of the event or the site where it's being held. It gives you the location, the primary contact, and then the description of the event. As we get further into this, we'll be developing even more features, more information through the event sites. We'll link them to the sites themselves so that you can see the events there. In the future, also, Nathan kind of was alluding to is the ability to maybe check into sites, to be able to have a list of sites you've checked into. These are all just ideas that we're throwing around that it's easy for us as software developers to put in, but it could mean a whole lot. It's as far as the community is concerned, being able to have friends and networking through the app. And so that's kind of our desire. Feel free,
Jason, just to build on that, you made a great point that just.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know I'm on a delay here, so I try to time it just perfectly, which is a little tricky to do. But I was just going to say that, we would love folks to play as much as possible with it and try to break the app. We've beta tested it. It's gone through lots of iterations. It's been out on the commercial market for a couple of years. But, speaking of Aaron's bragging rights, if you can figure out a way to break it, we'd love to hear about it because, that helps us just make sure that it's perfect. I don't think you can do it. I'm going to throw down the gauntlet, but if anybody does find a glitch, you can send it straight to my email and I will have it resolved immediately.
Right. Good. One of the other items that I think came up in a comment is being able to share the club information or the site information. And that's going to be a different logo. So you'll see the blue wings with the AMA in there. And so underneath it, we have the basic information right now. And this is part of the iterations as we go through our dev cycles. This is already in the works that we're planning to be able to add the features for that site. So there are certain things that site has, and so we want to be able to do that. We'd like to use icons and then some other things that make it really easy and quickly to see what is available there, what you need to be there to go there, and so all of that is in the iterations to come. But we're showing that as that layer, and you'll see that those icons for those sites.
And you mean just as the amenities for the site, like whether or not they have restroom facilities and those sorts of things, correct?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, exactly. And if there is a certain aircraft that is allowed or not allowed there, then certain things like that we want to make sure is available. We like how you have it on your on the AMA site where you list all of that information out. We just want to put it back in and make sure that it's available through ours as well.
And sorry, Jason, I'm gonna chime in because I know that I'm coming on a lag. Chris, I just want to make sure that I answered your question about adding club information. So hit us up back in the comments if you had a follow up on that one.
Good deal. And y'all just stop me whenever I'm going too far. If you have a question when you see this, I can get lost in it. So you'll have to forgive me. But we do show your airspace And like I said, anything on the map that you see on there, click on it and make sure that we have information below it. So if you want to know what airspace that is, we show a combo box. This is a combo box that lets you know there were multiple things under a click. And so we wanted to show you what those are. They'll have the airspace. If you click on an airport, the airport information will be there. You'll notice that every time you click the map, we give you the coordinates for that click. And there's a little triangle piece that's at the top of that box or at the side of the box or at the corner of the box that tells you where you clicked, and it gives you that coordinate information. Just a lot of hidden things in here sometimes that you just have to dive into it to see. And hopefully you'll be surprised presently about certain things whenever you find them. We do provide
Jason,
weather.
what I was going to jump in with was that, you know, we had a comment from a good friend out there from Moss Photography, Vic, making a great comment that, you know, there are lots of other places. The AMX flying sites are spectacular, but, you know, there's a lot of other country out there as well. And thanks, Vic, because that's our goal, to be able to make those access to those spots as easy and pain-free as possible. So great point. Thanks, my friend.
So I do have a couple of questions I wanted to kind of jump in with. First of all, you know, we mentioned that this launches this Monday, May the 3rd. Can members go ahead and sign up now, or do they need to wait until Monday?
So the official launch is on Monday the 3rd, and we're really excited about that launch. And so we're working on our part to make sure that our servers, all of our support software and hardware is in place for that launch. And so, yeah, we are excited for Monday's launch, and we're really anxious because we've been working. Aaron will tell you, we've been working for a long time to make this thing happen. So
yeah, I think Jason calls them sprints, and we've had a lot of sprints.
We're tired a little bit. Yeah, that's a long sprint. So.
Now, another thing I wanted to mention, so we're seeing this live demo you guys are doing right now being run through a browser, which is, of course, people will be able to do that through their browser. Are they able to do this through a mobile app as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. You'll need to sign up or register initially through the web portal. So the links that you're provided through AMA, or if you go to our website, we have AMA at the very top of our menu. Hit the AMA link that's on our menu, and then go inside, and we'll tell you about some of the features, what to expect through registration. Certainly go through AMA. I think our link is listed there as well. It's here listed on screen. So once you go to that link, then it'll open up that registration page and allow you to go in and register. So yeah, so we're excited about that process and how fast hopefully the process of getting in there is pretty quick.
So what about weather? Can you check the weather?
Yeah, so what's unique about information and aviation in general are every airport generally has a weather station that's there, and so they have to be pretty accurate. And so what we do is we tie into that feed for those airports, and anytime you see a circle here or a controlled airspace, you can see here in Muncie, there's 2 controlled airspaces there in blue. That's a Delta airspace. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nathan, but Delta airspace, blue and dashed lines. If you click on that airspace, that combo box will let you look at Class D. Muncie is Class D. The METARs is just an acronym for the weather conditions for that airport. And then you have the forecast, which they call TAFs. And so each one of them should be able to give you that information. If that hardware is out at that airport, it'll just return and say there's no data here for that airport. But those, the METARs and the TAFs at each one of those is a great way to find out what the weather is that's near you. Just to
and
check
I think that's a really great point,
see.
Jason, because what we're trying to do is pull in aviation grade weather. So this isn't just kind of going to WeatherBug or Weather Channel. This is, you know, this is what the 737 guys in the left seat are using to plan their routes. And so, you know, that same quality of data, I believe, needs to be available, you know, to folks that are flying model aircraft and otherwise. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, I think all that stuff is going to be really important for folks to be able to tap into. And the best part about it is the cost for AMA members. Exactly what is the cost for AMA members to use this service?
$0. It's $0.
I was
$0.
going to let Nathan jump in on that one. I figured a delay, but he would be excited to tell you. Yeah, it doesn't cost the AMA anything. The members to be able to go in and use this service. So that's what we're excited about, is to be able to actually work with your community. It's our community now. We're members as well, but we wanted to be able to provide this for your use.
Well,
And,
I can
Jason, that's a
certainly...
great point, because I was just going to say, as he's been playing with the system and filing a flight plan right there that I can see, which is just kind of swinging a circle around, it makes it really easy, but everything is interactive. We did a lot of work in the beginning with public safety and similar type scenario. Those folks are out saving lives. They need to not be bogged down with red tape. They just need to get, a bird up in the air, whether it's doing overwatch or, looking to see if, the roof of a burning structure is safe to land on. So the whole idea of the system is get in, get out. Everything's interactive. If you see something, touch it. It'll probably give you a whole bunch of information on it, and you can dig down. But at the same time, this whole concept of, there is, coming from manned aviation as well as from model aircraft, you can have aviation overload, information overload. So everything's built in layers. You never want to have kind of too much where you're distracted from, the important part of what you're doing, which is flying. So you can declutter things. You can just zone in on exactly what it is that you need at a given point in time. There's pre-planning and post-planning tools. I think once folks start playing with the system, they're going to find a whole slew of fun stuff to kind of get into.
Absolutely. And as a member, you have to sign up for the benefit through modelaircraft.org/UASidekick. That is how you get this benefit for free as an AMA member. And the website just popped up there for everybody.
Absolutely. And guys, as we mentioned before, if you guys have ideas for the folks at UASidekick, for Jason and Nathan, we've got that email address, amaideas@uasidekick.com. That's a dedicated email address for those sorts of things. And as well as AMA members, you guys also have a dedicated line of support to these guys as well. If you guys have any kind of issues, you want to send a question or whatever it is, over to amasupport@uasidekick.com. It's such an incredible service that you guys are providing to our membership. I, as a member myself and a user of UASidekick, I am super excited that you guys are putting in the effort to provide such an amazing piece of software for folks.
Thanks, Matt.
Absolutely. And this is, like we said before, it's iterative. So we're working every sprint that we have. We do weekly sprints, so kind of letting you see the back end of what we do. But every week we do sprints, and there's time allotted for AMA, and we really want to work to make this a better tool for you to use.
This has been a process of what, almost a little bit over a year to make this a go. So it's happening. I'm so excited.
We are too.
It's a go.
Well, Jason, Nathan, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show to talk a little bit about UASidekick. And I expect we're probably going to bring you on in the future, many times in the future, to kind of talk about new features that come down the line. Because like you said, it's an iterative app that you guys are going to be adding features to constantly. And they're going to be so beneficial to our membership. So we look forward to talking to you more in the future. But thank you so much for taking some time out of your very busy schedules to tell us a little bit about UASidekick.
Thank you.
Thank you both so much.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Aaron.
We appreciate it. So, Aaron, I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about this. This is going to be an amazing benefit for our members, and I'm so glad we got to hear about it today.
I am too. I mean, Jason and Nathan have both been wonderful to work with since the very beginning. And I'm so happy to be able to provide this to our members free of charge. And it's just going to be great for them. And, access to the AMA flying sites and the events, it's just really, really great. I'm super happy.
Yeah, and like I said, for all the stuff that's already there, I'm actually even more excited for the stuff that's going to be coming in the future. It's going to be amazing. You guys are going to want to get in on it. Again, we had that website up for you guys that you need to use, which is modelaircraft.org/UASidekick. That is the only place you need to go to get signed up for that. benefit. So thank you
Absolutely.
to those guys.
Stay tuned for more information, on AMA blogs, through Facebook, all those things. So, if there are any updates or anything, you're going to hear about it from us about UASidekick.
Absolutely. So, Aaron, I know you've had to have heard about the helicopter that's sitting on the surface of Mars.
I've heard about it once or twice. I think it's
Once or twice.
been kind of a buzz. What is it called? The ingenuity. I wanted to make sure I got that right.
You got it right. If you've been watching AMA Air, you've certainly heard us talk about it on here because you guys have been watching. I'm a space nerd, and so anything related to space, I'm going to talk about it ad nauseum. So I'm sorry, but we've got Ingenuity that's sitting on the surface of Mars right now. That was actually built in part by some AMA members that are out in California. Matt Keenan was one of those guys. He's the project manager from AeroVironment. Worked with JPL as well as some other guys out there that are also AMA members. Put in a lot of hard work on this helicopter. Ingenuity that's sitting on Mars. Now, the last time we met here on AMA Air, they had not yet flown Ingenuity, but guess what? Since then, 3 successful flights have taken place, have traveled 330 feet, which is about 100 meters, at a top speed of, wait for it, this is going to blow your mind, 4.5 miles an hour. Now, I say that a little tongue-in-cheek, but in reality, that's a crazy accomplishment when you're talking about the fact that it's on Mars. It's on another planet.
Well, I told you why they had to fly so slow. It's so that they could check for alien footprints.
Absolutely. And you don't want to blow the dust over the footprints, and then you can't see them, and then what's the point? We wanted to give you guys an update, though. Like I said, they've had 3 successful flights so far. The last one was on April 25th. Was an 80-second flight in total. That's where they did the 4.5 miles an hour at about 330 feet. Now the 4th flight was supposed to go on yesterday, but there was some malfunctions in the signals that were being sent to start the actual flight itself, I believe. So it was attempted again this morning. We are still waiting to hear if that was a successful flight this morning. I have not heard the news yet because we've been here with you. So hopefully we'll get some good news on that later today. And there you see some video of that flight from Ingenuity. I'm not sure which flight that was, but in any event, it's still video from a flight on Mars. I think that's pretty darn cool.
Oh my God. It's just amazing. It is amazing. I mean, it looks like you're just kind of in the desert of Utah, but nope, you're on Mars. Well, I'm not. They are.
Absolutely. Well, guys, if you can go to mars.nasa.gov/Mars 2020 to keep up with the up-to-date news on Ingenuity. If you guys are interested in hearing a little bit about how Ingenuity came about, we've got an article on our AMA blog over at amablog.modelaircraft.org. Sorry, I had to check my notes here. We've got a blog post there where we've interviewed Matt Keenan, who is one of the designers of this helicopter. And that's also going to be coming out in an article published in the July issue of Model Aviation magazine. So you got a couple of months before you get that, but you can get a sneak peek on that blog post right now if you go to amablog.modelaircraft.org. So it's an awesome article. You guys are going to be really excited to read about it and to hear that story. So I can't get enough of Mars. I don't know about you, Aaron.
Well, I mean, I do watch my paranormal stories, as you and I have discussed, whether it's like Skinwalker Ranch and is it coming from the skies, all those things. So yes, all of this is very interesting to me.
We've had our discussions.
We have. I mean, I just can't think that we live somewhere this large are we really alone? I mean, really, are we?
But the question is, are they on Mars? And that's what I want to know the answer to, like right now.
Well, we may find out soon.
Hopefully Ingenuity's finding that out for us. Well, guys, stick around because we've got a ton more to talk about. We're going to toss it to a break, but right after this break, we're going to be coming back with some Ifly AMA stuff. So stick around. We'll be right back right after this. said, are you ready? Are you ready for Ifly AMA? Well, it is that time again for the Ifly AMA segment of the show. Hey guys, are you a member of the Ifly AMA Facebook group? Because if you're not, I don't know what you're waiting for. I say that every time. I think you're going to get tired of me saying it eventually. All you got to do, though, is go to facebook.com/groups/iflyama, hit that join button, and be accepted into this amazing community of like-minded individuals, all just talking about the wonderful world of model aviation. And the best part about it is all that content is coming from folks just like you. And what I love about this segment of the show is that we get to share some of those cool stories that you've shared in the group. And today, Aaron, I'm going to let you have the honors and give your story first, because I'm so excited about what you found.
Well, thank you. I was excited about it as well. So I found a story from Kevin Turner, and it looks as though his son is probably not flying for the first time. He looks like he's pretty good here, but maybe I think he's landing for the first time, or having a successful landing for the first time. And then the camera pans over, and then the dog, Ginger, is sitting there, and just like that yawn, like, oh, I could have done that in my sleep. So, I mean, that just shows you right now that model aviation is for the entire family, and that includes our four-legged friends.
Well, first of all, I love the excitement on his face when he makes that landing, but I'm pretty sure that's not Ginger's first time at the flying field or near some airplanes, because Kevin's a friend of the show, and as well as his family, so they spend a lot of time out there. I'm sure Ginger spends a lot of time out there with them as well. So kudos to Kevin Turner and all those folks out there. They're such great people. I love Kevin and his family. I have found it's actually, I think, kind of a similar post, but I thought it was so cool. The post I found was from Ken Achi. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. I apologize if I didn't, as someone who perpetually gets their last name pronounced wrong. He posted some photos here. He said he's proud to announce that a brand new aviator flew not one, not two, but 3 solo flights for the first time. He is 8-year-old Jake Donald. So 8 years old, and he flew 3 solo flights, and he shared some amazing photos from that day. Here's all I got to say. Both of these posts that we shared really showing how we're passing this hobby on to the next generation. And I don't think there's anything more important, quite frankly, than that. So kudos to both Kevin and Ken for sharing those stories on the Ifly AMA Facebook group and with our members there. I just love seeing stuff like that. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And so this goes hand in hand. When I host the show, I can, sometimes weave in things that I know about at AMA that maybe others don't. But this is a great opportunity to plug the fact that AMA provides solo certificates to those first-time solo pilots that have soloed. So if you're interested, give me an email or a call. We can get those out to you.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. That's something even I forget about, and I forgot about until you just mentioned it. So kudos for bringing that up. That's a fantastic thing that those guys can do, especially for kids that age. I think that goes a long way to keep them interested and excited about the hobby. So
absolutely.
So let's switch gears a little bit to our cover photo contest for the month of May. It's time to announce the winner for that. And I believe we have a winner. Is that right? Drum roll, please. I don't have a drum roll sound. I always forget to make a drum roll sound.
I'm trying.
Well, our winner for the month of May is Volker Carell in his Scale EDF Southwest Airlines Boeing 737. First of all, amazing photograph, and the live stream doesn't do it justice, quite frankly. You got to go on the Facebook page and actually see this blown up, because it is an amazing photograph.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is a real airplane, but it looks like, a real full scale airplane. My goodness, that's really awesome.
It seriously, if I didn't know, and if I'm telling you, if I showed that picture to my mom, she'd say, "Wow, that's a great picture of an actual airplane." You know what I mean? Like, it looks so good. That plane is so scale. Congratulations. That is such a cool photograph. I love it. So congratulations, Volker Carell, for being the May cover photo contest winner. Round of applause for you, sir.
Congratulations.
And guys, again, if you have not yet joined the iflyama Facebook group, there's the link down at the bottom of your screen, facebook.com/group/iflyama. Go head over there, click that join button, answer a few of those questions, and you'll be accepted into that group where you can share all the cool stuff that you would like to see. Coming up soon, we're going to have the cover photo contest for, holy cow, June. That'll be going up soon. We'll tell you about that on the next episode of AMA Air. So start getting your photos ready, start taking them, getting them prepared. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what you come up with. There is also another announcement we have to make, because again, the first episode of each month, we announce our AMA Club of the Month. And Aaron, are you ready to hear who the Club of the Month is for the month of May?
Bring it on.
Here it goes. The Club of the Month for the month of May is the Black Sheep RC Modelers from Danville, Indiana. So founded in 1990, the Black Sheep RC Modelers, located near Danville, Indiana, has been a Gold Leader Club since 2003. Their flying field is located on land owned and rented to them by Waste Management, with whom they have had a wonderful relationship with, as well as with the rest of their local community. Their National Model Aviation Day celebration is an annual highlight, and thanks to the hard work put into that event, the Black Sheep RC Modelers have been able to donate nearly $10,000 to their local Hoosier Veterans Assistance Foundation. Trainer days are held for local youth groups. Volunteer time is donated to local community programs. And this summer, the Black Sheep will be helping out with the Greencastle, Indiana EAA Young Eagles with a program to help their youth group build and learn to fly RC. We'd like to congratulate the Black Sheep RC Modelers for being named May's AMA Club of the Month.
That is so cool. I know this club. Since I managed the Leader Club program for so long, I remember seeing their renewal report come in year after year. So good for them. They totally deserve this.
Yeah, and they're close to home too. This is the first one we've had that's here in our home state of Indiana. So congratulations again to the Black Sheep RC Modelers. You're going to learn more about them over at modelaircraft.org/clubs. We've got links to their website, their Facebook pages, all that fun stuff. We'll also have them on the podcast this month. We'll keep you posted on that, as well as sharing some information out on social media throughout the month of May. So again, congratulations to the Black Sheep RC Modelers. It's a huge honor, and I'm super excited to hear more about their club this month.
That's right.
So I know this is something that we've talked about before, but actually just yesterday we had some kind of breaking news. Stratolaunch. We've talked about Stratolaunch, and it's the current largest airplane in existence, as far as I'm aware. They had their second successful flight just yesterday. A few of us actually watched it on live stream together. It was a really cool experience. Their flight went 3 hours and 14 minutes, which is a pretty incredible length of time for a test flight, if you ask me. They went to an altitude of 14,000 feet, which was just a little bit lower than their first flight, I believe. And they were 199 miles an hour. So there you go. It's a little bit of fun facts for the Stratolaunch flight from yesterday. Again, if you guys are interested, 385 feet long wingspan, which is longer than an American football field.
My goodness, that is just crazy. It's like we know a guy that has something to do with this, that
Yes, we do. Friend of the show, Mason Hutchison, is one of the engineers on at Stratolaunch and working on this project. And I actually traded some texts with him yesterday and congratulated him for another successful flight. Something that I will point out, I think it's worth bragging a little bit. The spiritual predecessor to the Stratolaunch, which was the Spruce Goose, it only made one flight.
this one made 2.
She got 2.
She got 2 flights.
Congratulations to all the whole team over at Stratolaunch and everybody working on that. It's such a cool accomplishment. And
so I got to tell you this.
Yes.
When the first flight happened, Mason texted me and I was like, oh my God, it happened. And thank goodness I had a bottle of Asti in the fridge. Tyler and I popped that puppy open, toasted right to it.
I think it's worth it.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
I absolutely love it. If you guys want to learn more about the Stratolaunch project, you can go to stratolaunch.com where you can learn all about it. But be aware, we're going to be telling you all about that project as it continues on and with test flights in the future. And eventually, I think the first flight with an actual payload, which is what this aircraft is designed to do, is scheduled for early 2022. So we'll certainly be telling you all about that when that happens as well.
Very cool.
So let's talk about events real quick, because we've got some events coming up that you guys need to know about, and we've talked about them a little bit. First of all, NATS is coming up, the National Air Modeling Championships coming up this summer. modelaircraft.org/NATS. If you are a first-time competitor, if you've never competed before, we've got a special offer for you. Isn't that right, Aaron?
That is right. If you sign up to become a pilot at the NATS, guess what? Your registration fee is waived.
Absolutely. That's a $50 value. You have to use the code FLYINNT20. We'll pull that up here for you guys to copy down, but it's FLYINNT20. Use that code to get that $50 registration fee waived if you are a first-time competitor. And again, that's at modelaircraft.org/NATS where you can register. Another event we have coming up this summer is the National Fun Fly, which is in its second year. We've got so many fun things coming up for the National Fun Fly. We've got a membership meeting we're going to have live on site. You can go to modelaircraft.org/funfly. And Aaron, we have some sponsors I think we want to thank as well for that.
Yeah, if you just visit modelaircraft.org/funfly, you're going to see sponsors on there such as Hobby King, Newbie Drone, District 6, Horizon Hobby. They've donated some really cool prizes for the pilot giveaway. So please take a peek at those. You definitely want to register as a pilot. I know that I am. I want to be in on it. So, some really cool prizes out there for the pilots that register. So sign up today. And if you're not aware of it, the National Fun Fly does have a swap shop this year. So some of you probably received an email yesterday talking about registering for the swap shop. So be here, clean that garage out, clean that hangar out. You can make a little bit of money at the AMA National Fun Fly.
And hey, come sell something to me, because guess what? I'm going to be there. So bring your stuff. I might buy something. Come say hi to me. Do whatever the case may be. I want to see you guys out there at the Fun Fly this summer. Again, that's coming up in July. I believe the dates are
July 30th through August 1st.
I knew somebody would come in and help me out there. Thank you so much for that, Aaron. So again, modelaircraft.org/funfly. Is where the place to go get registered. The other thing we've got coming up this summer is Camp AMA. Camp AMA is back this year. amaflightschool.org/Camp AMA is the place to go. We've got a ton of amazing things coming up for Camp AMA this year. Some brand new things. In fact, we've got some brand new curriculum that's going to be brought in. Some special guests are going to be here as well. But we want you guys to know, we want you to get signed up as soon as possible. Hopefully you can get signed up by next week. I believe there might be a registration deadline. I'm not sure. I'm checking my notes that got deleted here by accident. Maybe we can. Oh,
Well,
I
we'll throw it up on the screen later. No worries.
Yep, no problem. So Camp AMA, again, amaflightschool.org/Camp AMA is the place to get more information there. And also we have AirVenture coming up, which is July 26th through August 1st. It's the same weekend as the National Fun Fly, but it's another place that if you've never been to AirVenture, that's a place you want to get to. Airventure.org to learn more. Aaron, we've got some cool stuff coming up at AirVenture. Is that right?
Absolutely. Every year, well, of course, last year we couldn't because of the pandemic, but, we have evening flying that takes place at Pioneer Field. We have the AMA flight simulator. We have such a good relationship with EAA and AirVenture that, they really welcome us with open arms to that show and bring us into the fold. It's not just about, full scale aviation, because many of the people who work at EAA, they started with model airplanes. So they are very familiar with the AMA organization and welcome us. And we really look forward to being there. I know that this year there is going to be a UAS for STEM competition. There's going to be a lot more information that comes out about that as time moves forward towards the end of July for the event. But if you're able to make it to AirVenture, I highly recommend that you go. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of walking. Your feet will be bruised, but it is so worth it. It is just an amazing show. The first time I ever went, you're just constantly like in awe. You're just looking at the sky, awestruck. It's so wonderful.
Absolutely. And hey, and look, you can look at it this way, because the Fun Fly is the same weekend. I think it's a great idea for a road trip. Hit both events up.
Well, that's you hit up your UASidekick app, you locate your clubs and club events on the way to the National Fun Fly, or to, if you're going to be a pilot at NATS, and then you use your UASidekick app again, and you'd make your way all the way to Wisconsin for AirVenture. It sounds like a no-brainer to me.
Full circle.
There you go. There you go.
Hey guys, I want to let you know, I misspoke a little bit earlier. Next week is not the deadline for Camp AMA, but head over to the website that we gave you for that to make sure you can get signed up as quickly as possible. Who wants to wait around for that? amaflightschool.org/Camp AMA is that. To finish up, and I'm making my producer crazy, I'm sure, and I apologize. To wrap up with AirVenture, there he is with his pulling his hair out, I'm sure. We also have a really amazing partnership with EAA right now. You can go to modelaircraft.org/EAA to learn more about that, with special discounts and offers and all that sort of thing. Is there anything you want to add to that, Aaron?
Just take advantage of it. I took advantage of it. I started getting the magazine and I was like, wow, I was really missing a lot, learning about their organization as a whole. So I really think that it's totally worth the money. Lots of good stuff. You're going to find out more information about AirVenture, tons of good benefits that they have, just like AMA. So I highly recommend joining.
Absolutely. I do as well. Well, guys, that's it for us here today on this episode of AMA. We thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, we'd love it if you like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, do all that fun stuff that they say to do. That really helps us out, and it helps us kind of get up in the algorithms, and it's a good thing to do for us. We'd appreciate it. And also, if you're not already a member of the AMA, head over to modelaircraft.org and find out what the AMA could do for you, and join today if you haven't already. And if you have already joined, we thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate all of that. And with that, Aaron, it's time to say goodbye. Say goodbye, Aaron.
Goodbye and happy Friday. Y'all have a good weekend.